So just hit go live on YouTube, right?
Me?
No, like once I hit it, we're live. That's all I have to do, right?
Once you hit it, TJ.
All right, I hit it.
Whoa. How'd it feel when you hit it? Come on now.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's the
live.
best I can get. Listen, guys. Today's live stream is brought to you by no one, but I am drinking out of a ByBit cup. Can you zoom in on my ByBit cup?
I can't.
No, you can't.
Well, I can.
Yeah. Sure. Today's live stream is brought to you by, unofficially, by ByBit. Thank you to all the people that don't listen to me and short the market. You guys are doing pretty well right now. I told you not to do it. Don't listen to me. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And I'm depressed right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm depressed. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the market. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but right now, things are not looking so great. We do have some things like in the last 3 minutes that might be looking kind of bullish, but it's a little sketch right now, guys. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. It may not feel like it right now, but later on, I'll be showing you guys some of my strategies I'm using right now. I'm taking a big gamble right now. I feel like my whole credibility and channel is on the line right now. If in fact we topped out in this market, it's going to be bad for all of us. Me too. So I'm gambling. I'm betting that is not that's not what's happening right now. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you like money in crypto, I forgot my own intro. That's how bad things are going today. If you like money and you like crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to smash the like button so people know that you are angry as hell at Bitcoin. That's right. That's why we're smashing the like button today. Guys, this is an interesting market right now. And I got to be honest with you, I did not see a lot of these moves that we've just had coming. Now, right now, we are on the way up, back up from a bounce. But I'm going to show you guys some numbers. And then later today, I've actually got an interview I did with Carl. If you guys remember, I told you he would be on the channel again, exactly as I predicted. He will be back on the channel talking about lower targets for Bitcoin, lower price action, where could it be going down. And at some point, you know, Bitcoin's going to hit decision time, and we are going to be looking at what that is going to look like. So first and foremost, guys, I want to show you guys here, we're at 326,000 subscribers. Thank you to everybody for subscribing to the channel. Almost 327K, had a little dip in our subscriber growth yesterday, but you know, it is what it is. So obviously, guys, we got to start with the Bitcoin crash. I mean, and it was an outright crash this morning. So just give you guys a little perspective on my day and what I've been doing. I woke up this morning because I had this interview with Carl. I had to be at work, had to be ready for the interview at 7. I woke up at like 3:30 a.m. And I don't know if you guys experienced this, but when you wake up and you're in a trade actively, especially a leverage trade, or even if you're just looking at your portfolio, it's the first thing you do. You know, you wake up, you might have to go to the bathroom, you'll walk in there, and then while you're, you know, doing your business, you're looking at your phone. And when I opened that phone up today, I saw, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my trade a little bit later. I'm still in this trade. This will possibly kill me. But I saw we were at 31,000. We were actually 30,900. And I said, oh my gosh, what a great opportunity to pile more in this trade. And I never thought that it would go down much, much further than it did. And we got a dramatic dump today. Went lower, as you guys can see here on the screen, you know, went lower than our green dot here that we've been looking at on the 8-hour chart. Actually, it went lower than that as well. That's kind of the support line that, you know, is holding a little bit here. If you look, not really. I mean, we're above it now. This right here was the candle where we got the 8-hour green dot. There's been a very strong indicator for upward action. Okay, very strong indicator. And you guys can see we dipped below that today. Now we've climbed back above it, but we've broken the line. I mean, the line has clearly been broken. So a lot of times when we see that, it feels like we could be going down further. Now, when you look over here at Bitcoin and you look at the ascending channel that we have been in for a long time, this goes back to as far as, let's see, this goes back a long ways. Long ways. Okay, this goes all the way back to the beginning of December. Okay, this channel that we've been in, this rising channel here, based on the new lines that we had, and we went below that too. So, but if you look at what actually happened, you guys can see, and I know everybody's concerned right now, and we're going to talk about this. I mean, guys, if you think I'm immune to these drops, I mean, my gosh, I'm not. I'm not immune. I feel the same way you guys do. Because you got to understand, one thing you get on this channel is 100% realness. You get 100% realness. Raw, uncut. I had to hold it together so I didn't start crying here on the live stream. No, I'm just kidding. It was suggested to me to cry on the live stream by certain people, and sorry, guys, I don't have tear ducts. Okay, but when you look at this as any channel and you see where we bounced off of, the bodies of the candle, okay, the bodies are above the line, so there's a little bit of bullish action there. But, you know, there's a lot of things today that we're looking at, and I'm going to tell you why that the next 4 days could be the most important 4 days in Bitcoin's entire history. I know it's saying a lot. Feels very urgent right now. I know you guys see urgent Bitcoin emergency every day out there. It's pretty interesting video going out around right now. I'm not gonna say anything about it one way or the other, but it's pretty interesting. You might want to just search Bitcoin emergency urgent. It was pretty funny. I laughed, but still, you know, I'll leave that there. Okay, so when we come back here and we look at Bitcoin, and we look at let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Mr. Elron, are we seeing anything bullish right now on the charts? Mr. Elron, our internal trader.
Yeah, we're getting a bounce.
Yeah, we're getting a bounce off the 4-hour, and that's good. And so in the short term, what should you guys be doing other than clenching buttholes? Because I know y'all should probably be doing that. We're just looking for signs here, guys. We're looking for signs of life for Bitcoin. We are looking, and we're going to look at, you know, some really, I'm not going to say super bearish news. We're going to look at some bearish news here in a little bit. But when we get down to talking about the monthly chart, I'm not going to be showing that right now. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. When we get to the monthly chart, that to me is where the decision point is. And that to me is where the really super concerning stuff is regarding the Bitcoin price. Because if we don't get a really solid bounce in the next few days, we could be looking at some really bad stuff. So, but ultimately, you know, guys, what we've seen over and over again, and we'll talk more about this at the end, we've seen every time Bitcoin has hit these points during this cycle, it has came up on the upside. So let's move over and talk about this, guys. This is the death cross, okay? Severe downside risk for Bitcoin on bearish death cross appearance. A death cross is basically when you get two lines that oversect. What are they exactly? Does it say in here exactly what the two lines are? Let's see here. It's the moving average and what? Yeah, the moving average and the MACD. When they cross, it can create what is known as a death cross. I was hoping this would actually say exactly what it was. But yeah, so it says on Wednesday, Bitcoin's 50-day moving average, the 50-day moving average fell 33,342 from its session peak of 37,616, while its 200 moving day average increased from 33,218 from 28,647. This is ultimately what it means here. Okay, a death cross occurs when the 50 DMA, which many chartists treat as a short-term trend indicator. Let me highlight this here real quick, guys, for you. And we're standing up today. We think the energy is better when we stand up. Let us know. If you want to see me stand up, let me know. If you want to see me sit down and talk like a nerd, we can do that too. A death cross occurs when the 50 DMA, which many chartists treat as a short-term indicator, closes below the 200 DMA, which traders view as a benchmark line between longer-term uptrends and downtrends. Bitcoin is very close to forming a similar pattern on its short-term chart, which signals a sell-off in the sessions ahead. And, you know, one thing you've got to realize about... Oh, did you move on to the next section there? Did you? Did that happen because you pressed something? Or? Yeah. Okay. One thing you guys got to realize about charting, it's all market psychology. It's like 100% marketing, the psychology. It's basically what price points, what data points do we have that tend to make people want to buy or sell an asset? And charting that over time, charting the human psychology, we've determined that there are certain trends that are very, easily, obviously seen on charts that make us know kind of which direction it could be heading in. Now, I've said this many times, it's like using a sports handicapper. Like, they're right over 50% of the time, but barely. But over the long term, it does definitely, yield good results. I mean, not maybe with sports handicappers, because they all say they're 37-2. But, if you've ever got into that, it's probably not true. But with charting, all we're looking for is to win more than we lose. And we can actually take more losses than we take wins. But if we get the wins that are big enough, we offset all the losses and end up in the profit. And that's really kind of what we're looking to do in this market. But when we look at the bearish cross here, on the chart itself, you guys can see that right here is when it happened. This would have been earlier this morning. This looks like this is a daily chart, so we don't exactly have that time. But when this happened, charts become self-fulfilling prophecies because it's really hard to separate fundamentals from technicals, okay? So when people see this article, hey, there's a death cross, what happens? They go to the market and start selling off, and that's actually what ends up pushing the price down further. These indicators tend to make people do certain things. So, now does everybody being bearish on YouTube have something to do with that? I would say not. I'd say a lot of this has to do with more professional traders that aren't, don't depend on us necessarily for all their information. Not that you can't depend on us if you're professional, okay? But Trading Shot, this is a guy I really like. He's the one who created the golden bull cycle ratio, which is where we get our September 28th top of the market date, which I'm still holding true to for now. We will see what happens. Is that right now we are possibly seeing a drop down to $28,000, as it says right here. This is basically what he said. He said the last death cross was not the end of the world. Now, I guess there's multiple analysts there. Was not the end of the world, but it did deliver a 15% pullback. Took BTC USD 50 days to recover the price after the bearish crossover. From the current level of the 4H MA200, 15% pullback would put BTC around $2,800, which is $400 higher, which is basically, if it goes to 28,000, my trade is going to get liquidated, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm nervous to say that on air because I know that, what's the guy's name that counter trades us all the time? Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, don't you counter trade me down. Okay, don't you do it. But the point is here, was what we just got enough to satisfy that? Let's look at what we just got. Now, if you were to look at when this happened this morning to what it dropped down to, you guys will see. Why did it do that? Let me try that again, guys. Okay, from the top. Why is it? Oh, because market cipher's down here. Let me X that off on here. Let me try that again, guys. Okay, so what we're looking at here, I hate this thing sometimes. The total that we were down was 6.5%, all the way down to 29,216. But if we were to take this from yesterday, which, I don't know if we're allowed to do that or not. I mean, we are looking at a loss of 7%. If we go to the top of the market, or the top of the last week to where we're at now on the 4-hour chart, you're looking at 16%. But, from the death cross is where we're supposed to be counting. So right now we didn't get there. We didn't go all the way down. We didn't dip in the 28,000s. So the question is this enough? Is this enough? Was there enough pain for this market to bounce? And the concerning thing to me has been we have not seen the dramatic bounce in the market from any level. Right now, we could be in the midst of it, depending on what happens. But the really, really, really troubling thing for me, and the thing that I've had a really hard time with today, coming to terms with where we're at in this market. And guys, this is all perhaps. Keep in mind, this is about decision time, okay? This is about Bitcoin in a corner. Can anyone put baby in a corner? Can anyone put the Bitcoin baby, the BTC baby, in the corner? Well, when we look here at this monthly chart, we start to see what we really need in the next few days. And you have to understand, the longer the time frame, the more reliable the charts are, okay? Maybe we should have just respected the pump. Should we have respected the pump? Is that what we should have done? If we all just would have respected the pump, we would be fine right now.
Respects the pump.
Respects the pump. It's funny to me, like on TikTok, a lot of people talked about that, and it went viral on Twitter. Like Ivan was trying to like be dead serious. Like, guys, it is time. If we respect the pump, the price will go up. Like, he was kidding. I don't know. People give him a hard time about that. Like, I don't know. The meme culture is so strong on the internet, is what I'll say. Ivan, one of the smartest guys in cryptocurrency. I would rank him probably right up there with me. So, just kidding. I would rank him up there with the BitSquad, the people who watch this channel. You guys are incredibly intelligent.
Very true.
Okay, so let's look at this monthly chart here, okay? So you guys see this wick over here, okay? This wick for the monthly chart is very concerning. And I think it's something we got to start looking at. Is one thing I will not do. I will tell you guys what I will not do. When this market truly turns, this will not be a channel where we continue to pump bullish narratives when it becomes very clear it's time to get out. And we are certainly not there right now at this moment. But watching this monthly candle, what happens? Can you move down to the timer? What happens with this is that the monthly time prints, the monthly prints are extremely, extremely, extremely important, okay? And because of that, if we print a candle like this, that is not good, guys. This is not a good candle for us to be printing, okay? This wick, the wick from here to here. So let's go back and let's make some comparisons, and I'll show you why I'm a little concerned about this, okay? If we go back to 2019, where we had a fake out pump, if you guys remember, we were all hanging out, riding the Bit bus, going to Bitcoin 2019. Things were going well. This was over that summer, and I was about to go play in the WSOP. Like, it was a lot of fun stuff. And then before you know it, we had a huge, huge, huge drop. And then we saw what happened afterwards, which is, you guys can see it just went straight down, straight down, straight down. So let's see what size this wick was. The beginning of the end of the mini run over the summer. And let's keep these numbers in mind. 22%. That's a 22% wick. And that continued on the next few wicks, as you guys can see there. It looked, pretty similar. So it was 22%. Well, let's go back to the last time before that we had a wick that large. That would have been at the top of the market. And are you guys noticing anything? This would have been in 2017. You guys can see here. This was the top of the market right here. The very, very, very top of the market. Okay? So let's look. Let's see what this was. This was a negative 29% wick. 29%. So we've seen 22% wick is a bad thing. 29% wick is a very bad thing. Because what this is saying is it looks like a blow off top. When you look at it, it looks like a blow off top. So let's move back and let's say, okay, well, that was the top of the market. We certainly don't believe that, we haven't been believing on this channel by any stretch of the imagination that we are anywhere close to a top of this market in terms of the cycle, in the Bitcoin cycle and where it should be. So you got to go back to find the next large wick, which kind of lines up with about where we should be in this cycle, okay? May of 2017, okay? Somewhere in here, okay? But this is our first big wick that we got. We got a really big wick during this time. 2 big wicks in a row, in fact. Let's measure this and see what this was, okay? This was about a 17% wick. So what we're seeing here, consistently on these monthly larger time frames, basically that count more, much more confirmation. We don't need as much evidence to determine a trend based on the monthly charts as we would on the 8-hour chart or the 4-hour chart, or especially like the 1-hour chart or lower, okay? What we're seeing is if we get a 17% wick, and you can look at the one that's right after that as well. You guys can look and measure this one. This one was also about 17%, okay? Still seems to indicate bullish action. Still seems to indicate that's enough. You can have that kind of a wick and still be bullish, okay? So keep that in mind, and now let's come back over here. Let's come back over here to where we're at right now, okay? Right now, this wick is gigantic. It is huge, okay? Let's measure this thing where it is right now. Right now, this wick, 26%. If we go down to where maybe we bottomed out a little earlier today, which would have been 29.2. Let's see here, 29.2. 28%, almost 29%, almost exactly where it was when the 2017 bull market was at the top and the bear market continued, or the bear market began after that. There was no continuation. What does this mean? In my opinion, I mean, guys, I gotta be honest with how I feel. I gotta be honest with what I'm seeing right now. It's not great, okay? And if we come here, now look, once again, this is the first time we've ever on this channel said, who knows, maybe this was the top. Do I believe that? No. And at the end, we're going to discuss why I don't think so. But where do we have to get? Where do we have to get in order to feel safe? By the end of this month, in the next 4 days, we really need Bitcoin to get around, if it got to 17%, it needs to get above $34,800.
By when? Today?
No, by the end of this month. By midnight on midnight on January 31st, February 1st, in between those 2 days at midnight, needs to get up. We need to at least get below 22%, okay? At least get below 22% to feel like, okay, well, look, the blow off top that happened over 2019 over the summer, that was 22%, right? We looked at that. That number would be 33,000. To me, here's what I'm watching. $32,000, $33,000. It's got to be closer to 33. It has to be, in my opinion, by the end of this month, between $33,000 and $34,000, if not higher. Or guys, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you. If we are not above 33,000. I mean, if we're at 32,900, whatever. I mean, very close to $33,000 by the time this monthly candle prints. I'm gonna start moving some money out. I'm gonna hedge my bets. Am I gonna move the majority of it out? No. Am I gonna move some money out? Absolutely. The risk versus the reward. You have to weigh out the risk versus the reward. The risk. And we're going to talk about this when we talk about the institutional lasso, why this could be happening, why, if we did end up seeing a top of the market, why that would be. You have to take that in consideration. The risk of riding back down below below not $20,000, but back below $10,000 or lower, that's not worth it to me. The reward is much higher of taking some money, and the opportunity cost that's lost, if we're wrong and we go up, is much less than the risk of risking all of our money. So over the next several days, we're going to be watching this wick. We're going to be looking at where this goes. We are still bullish at this point. There's nothing, in my opinion, right now because this hasn't printed. It's only important when it prints. So what does this mean for the overall altcoin season crypto markets? Okay. Well, if this were to have been the top, which once again, I feel like every time I got to say, I don't believe it is. In my heart of hearts, I have faith in Bitcoin that this thing is going to get back above where it was before, okay? I believe we are going to end the month on a good note, okay? Let's see. Right now, 30,900. Oh, God. I'm almost back to even in my monumentally bad trade. Okay, good. So let's look at this here, guys, okay? Let's go back and look at the last, this is Ethereum. We're not looking at Ethereum yet. We'll look at Ethereum here in just a second, but let's go back and look at this, okay? Actually, we might need to look at Ethereum, actually, but it doesn't go back far enough on this chart. Let me pull up another chart where we can kind of compare Ethereum to, let's see here.
Yeah, Ethereum got a really good pump just now.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Over 1,300.
But once again, and this is what
Just
I'll
has to
say on
hold.
this, that makes total sense. If this were to have been the top of the market, Ethereum still continuing to go to the numbers that I predicted it would go, still makes total sense. Even if that was the top of the market. Because this is what people is lost on people right now, which is the fact that the altcoins do run longer. That's why I've said top of the market September 28th, top of the altcoin cycle Halloween, over a month later. Let's look at ETH USD on Bitstamp. Let's go Kraken here. So get Kraken. Let's go here to the weekly chart. Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's talk about altcoins. So let's look at the Bitcoin monthly chart, and then we're going to move it back over to that chart. Okay. So when you look at Bitcoin here on Bitstamp, and you guys see during 2017, it got a giant pump. Okay. Clearly, the top of this market was December. Okay. Bitcoin. It was, in January, it really began its descent down, and it was a still slightly green month, I think. If you look, we're on the different kind of candles here, but if we go, no, these are regular candles. These are regular candles. So it was red, but just slightly, it looks like. Almost dead even with the month before in terms of the body. What am I talking about? Sorry, the body's down here. Absolutely not. January was a huge red month for Bitcoin. I'm used to seeing these Heikinashi candles. They've got me all confused now. But the point here is, this is not what happened to Ethereum. Look at Ethereum, guys. Okay, when we come here and we look at the weekly chart for Ethereum and we go back to 2017, the top of this market was when? Look when the top of this market was. Okay, top of this market was January 8th, 2018. Top of the Bitcoin market, December 17th, 2018. Almost a full month later. Even when Bitcoin was already in the midst of a bear market, Ethereum was not yet there, okay? What does this tell you? The altcoin cycle pumps for a month after the Bitcoin cycle tops out. If we were to switch here and we were to look at the monthly candles here during the same time frame, golly, where did it go? Where did this action go to? There we go. Okay, so if we look at the monthly here for Ethereum, you guys will see January was a gigantic green month, okay? Gigantically green. You can't even see the wick there, okay? Now, the next month, dramatically low. Bitcoin, Ethereum was on, when Bitcoin was doing well, Ethereum was going up, and then we saw this. This is very characteristic of what we saw for altcoins. I wonder if somebody knows, if they could drop it in the chat and maybe TJ can make a note of it. Is there an altcoin chart that shows the overall altcoin market moves that's not the Bitcoin dominance chart?
It basically rolls all altcoins.
Yeah, it rolls
together.
all altcoins together, maybe top 10, maybe indexes. I'd be very interested in seeing that kind of chart.
Yeah, we'll look.
We'll look and see that. So basically Ethereum pumped all the way through January, meaning the altcoin season that we're seeing right now still could have much higher parabolic movement over the next several weeks, okay? Bitcoin peaks in January, altcoins peak in February. Now, do we want this? No, we don't want the altcoins to have blow-off tops next month. If they do, that's another sure sign that you should start getting out of this market. The monthly chart for Bitcoin is another sign that you should be looking at. So altcoins in general, we can certainly still have altcoin season with Bitcoin topping out. It's all about time in the market. These are things that you need to be paying attention to, okay? As far as Ethereum specifically goes, and the forecast for Ethereum, we've been talking about Ethereum going to $3,000. Some people have said $3,000. Of course, JP Morgan said Bitcoin 146K, and then 3 weeks later says the top is in. We'll see who ends up being wrong about that. But I still believe Ethereum has the potential. I mean, look at where Ethereum is right now. The price right now coming in right at $1,300, okay? Price of Bitcoin right now coming in at $30,745. Okay. Ethereum was at $1,300. Let's look at the actual Ethereum chart here. On the ByBit chart here. Let me go back to the 4-hour. Okay. All right. So when we look at Ethereum and where it's been close to for $1,300, okay. $1,300. It got above $1,300 the other day. Okay. 1368 it went to, which was on the 27th. Is that right? Exactly. Is it the 28th? This is the 4-hour chart. Okay, let's go back to let's see where Bitcoin was on the 25th. Okay, Bitcoin on the 25th, if we go here, was... Sorry, we're going to fix the height of this computer here pretty soon. I'm having to go down real low. That's what she said. Okay, Bitcoin was at, on that day, 33,400. Okay? It was a little above 1,300. Right now, with Bitcoin less than 31,000, Ethereum still above $1,300. People taking those profits from Bitcoin, they're still riding out this altcoin wave, Ethereum wave. So what this means is, if Bitcoin were to close that wick, okay, let's say Bitcoin were to get up to $33,000, where it really needs to be by the end of this month, 4 days from now. If it gets up to $33,000 by the end of this month, everything can still be bullish. Think about where Ethereum will be at that point. If we get that much positive Bitcoin action, how high can Ethereum go if it just returns there? Even if Bitcoin at this point goes up back above 32,000, how high can this thing go? And in my opinion, I believe that this institutional investing right now, while we're going to look at why they could be pressing the price of Bitcoin down, I believe this is still going to ride Ethereum up to $2,500 by Valentine's Day. I still think that's a thing. We're still getting more bullish stories about Ethereum becoming a store of value, the changing of the narrative. I've got a video later tonight where we're going to look at DOT versus Cardano versus Ethereum. We're going to be looking at a lot of bullish stuff still remaining for Ethereum and the price. I still believe ultimately that we're not at the end of this cycle, but we do need to start paying attention to it. But it certainly looks like to me that Ethereum is in prime position still on the charts. I mean, if you look at Ethereum compared to Bitcoin here on the 4-hour chart, okay? If you look at the patterns we have seen consistently, okay, this is clearly an uptrend for Ethereum. We are still clearly on an uptrend. We still have a high here, a higher high here, and a higher high here. We just bounced. We need to see this probably by the end of January hit another higher high. If we see that, and guys, could we possibly be to this point in the market? This would be a really interesting thing. I know the maxis are going to cringe so hard. Harder than me wearing a Hawaiian shirt, okay? The maxis are going to cringe here. What if Ethereum pulls Bitcoin up with it? If Ethereum starts riding up above all-time highs, could that actually be the catalyst by the end of this month to push Bitcoin up? I don't know, because you got to think about it like this. Ethereum brings more people into cryptocurrency. The younger generation is definitely more interested in something that they can afford at least half of instead of a tenth of. Many people can afford a full Ethereum. They can't afford a full Bitcoin. You guys know that those numbers are insane when you start to think about who can afford what. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. There's nothing in the chart for Ethereum. If we were to take this chart in a vacuum and ignore Bitcoin, pretend Bitcoin did not exist, looking here at this chart, you guys would know this is clearly an uptrend. There's nothing alarming about this trend. Money flow for Ethereum, you can see it is decreasing, still in the green. So for me personally, I definitely think that we are still in an uptrend for Ethereum. Bitcoin can mess that up. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about yesterday. JP Morgan puts out this story, and we made fun of it, of course, as you know, we like to make fun of things on this channel. We don't make fun of other content creators on this channel. We might poke fun of them a little bit. But we do make fun of the institutional people. You can just full screen here. I have nothing to show other than my beautiful face that you guys want to see. And guys, sorry about the dots on the shirt yesterday. Apparently that was a big contentious argument. And also, guys, by the way, I do want to mention this because nobody has brought this, or I don't know, maybe people have been talking about it. The other day, a young lady came into the chat and said something about my Fox business story, and I called her sexy. That was my wife, just so you guys know. Okay, I don't call random ladies sexy in the chat, but I will call my wife sexy. I will do it, and she likes it. She actually doesn't like it. But anyways, the point here is, guys, I want to talk to you guys about the institutional investing. I remember Crypto Daily. I love Crypto Daily. He's a great YouTuber, and when I got this channel started, he was the person I watched every day. He was the person who I patterned my channel after. And I didn't pattern my personality. My personality is who I am, but weaving in funny content, picking stuff here and there, but also providing depth and providing knowledge to everybody for them to get. I think over time, I've done that in the beginning of this channel. We certainly didn't, but it took time, and now we're here. And unbelievably, we are actually almost, I think, twice as large as his channel is now. I mean, it's just mind-blowing to think that 4 years later, that's what's happened. I respect the heck out of that guy. I will not forget a video he made in the bear market about something I didn't want to hear. I did not want to hear this. I was still feeling very bullish about things at the time. The market had already begun to crash. He was talking about CME futures. He was talking about paper Bitcoins. We will be having paper Ethereum starting on February 5th, I believe, something to pay attention to. But one thing he said that really stood out to me, and it stood out to me so much that even these years later, I still think about it. He said, the power of the institutional investors, and this is why we talk about the steel hands that these people have, the iron hands that these institutional investors have. They are in the long game. TJ wanted me to show a tweet here, and don't show this yet. I'm going to pull it up real quick. TJ, I'll tell you when it's good to go, or you'll see when it's good to go. But TJ gave me a tweet to talk about. I didn't really want to talk about it, and the reason why I didn't want to talk about it was because I don't feel like this tweet is very encouraging to people right now, and I want to encourage you guys, okay? CZ said, and I'm going to bring this back full circle. I always do. TJ sent me this from CZ, the co-founder of Binance, or the founder of Binance. And he said, I was bullish even at all these peaks, the red arrows below. I was wrong for short periods, but time has proven otherwise. Okay? As you can see here on this chart, all these red arrows are times where he was bullish. And then we had big downtrends. If you look at these arrows, most of them are the beginning of the bear markets. This one was a mid-period. This was actually, I think, when I think Mt. Gox crashed in 2014. But this was after what Da Vinci calls hyper-Bitcoinization. We had a long, stretch in the market where nothing happened, and then we had another bear market after a peak, okay? Don't feel like this is encouraging to you guys. Most people are only interested in the short term. They're mostly only interested in the current cycle that we're in. They don't want to hear we're out of a bull market. I didn't want to hear it when Crypto Daily was trying to tell me this. He was telling me this about the same time that CZ is pointing to this red arrow right here, okay? Look over here, though, guys. We went all the way up here, a higher high. Yeah, but that's 4 years later, three years. I mean, this was 2017 at the peak of this. This, obviously, 2021, so 3.5, 4 years, however you want to say it. Yeah, the end of 18 was the end of 17, the beginning of 21. So regardless, it was a long time. Most of you guys are not going to want to ride this out. And I've told you guys many times before, if we're in the midst of something like this, where we're going down, you don't want to ride this out. The big institutional investors, they look at only this. This is all they're concerned about. This is why they win. This is why they beat us. Because they don't need money in the short term. You guys want money to retire. You want money to pay your bills. You want money to pay off your debt. You want money to change your life in the short term, okay? A lot of you guys, and if you're in a position where you can wait this long, then you probably do have this longer term outlook. but most of the people that are getting in crypto are getting in to become like you, that they don't have to mine. Maybe by the next bull cycle, you will be there. But Crypto Daily said about the same very thing. You can come back out, TJ. Crypto Daily said this. He said, the power of these iron hands, the power of these institutional investors is they have a lasso. They have so much money that when the train leaves the station, they can lasso the train and pull it back to them. And that's what they did in 2018. Now, we're starting to see a new level of investor come in. Corporations. We're starting to see people put Bitcoin as treasuries. We're seeing the largest hedge funds in the world. We're now seeing universities. And I don't know, maybe we'll look back if this does end up being the top of the market. Don't believe it is. But if it does, maybe we'll look back at universities, at Harvard investing in Bitcoin as the pretentious top of the market that we'll make fun of. When Harvard comes in, you need to know, you need to get out. Maybe that's what the joke will make. I hope not. I would like to make a joke out of Harvard, but not at your expense, okay? But could it be that the scarcity and rarity of Bitcoin is creating such FOMO in the market that the only way that some of these biggest players can continue to pile on more when they see Grayscale buying billions of dollars in Bitcoin is to push it down and stop this rally? And I don't want to think that that's what's going on. But if we were to say that this ends up being the top, that is certainly exactly what drove it. And right now with Bitcoin coming in at $30,653, we need quite a bounce bigger than this in order to feel safe from the end of the market. So I feel like Jerry Springer right now. Trying to make you guys feel better. Dr. Phil. So let's look at my strategy. So my strategy is this. I mean, I've already kind of revealed a decent chunk of it in terms of exit strategy. If we do not get high upward momentum by the end of this month, my strategy will be to start taking some profits off the table, for sure. I'm well into the profit-taking area. I can certainly do that. I have not done that. Now, I've used some money to do some things, but I haven't taken profit in terms of pulling money off the table for the sake of pulling money off the table. If you were to see my bank account compared to the crypto, you would laugh. It's very funny because people in crypto don't want to sell their crypto because we don't believe this is any kind of top of the market or anything like that. So long term, I'm watching that monthly candle and I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Now, if you didn't know, we have a trading competition going on ByBit right now. I'm not going to show the leaderboard because I'm very low right now. I've literally made one trade for this competition and I'm sticking to it. And I feel like I'm very invested in this trade at this point. And if we end up getting liquidated on this trade, we will look like idiots. But we're going to keep on keeping on because I do believe, put my money where my mouth is. I think when we get to a decision point, and we'll look back at some of those decision points for Bitcoin at the end here. When we get to these decision points, Bitcoin continually is doing exactly what it needs to do. So I'm still having faith and having hope that we are going to see that again. In my interview with Carl from the Moon, which we'll be talking about later today, we talked about some low targets for where Bitcoin would be going. But ultimately, we both agree that we are going to be moving up. And you guys will see that because I don't think that Bitcoin can withstand another gigantic drop and remain in a bull market. I mean, guys, if we were to trace 50% or more and we were to go below $20,000, that's not a bull market. 25 to 40% pullbacks are something consistently we've seen. When it gets above that range, it gets dangerous. We're not there yet. We're not close to that yet, actually. Right now, if you were to look at where we are in this market, I mean, we're basically at the 30% level. That aligns. I mean, you look at the wick that we've measured multiple times on the stream, it's about 30%, totally in line with where it's been before. So I'm still handling my trades like I would if we're in a bull market. A lot of people are out there celebrating a lot of successful shorts that they've had. I would always rather be long than short. And I know many of your wives agree with me. Okay. Can I get a laugh from my peanut gallery back there? No? TJ,
Ha, ha, ha,
Elron.
ha, ha,
Thank
ha.
you guys. Thank you for making me feel better. You guys can see the mood is dark here today. The mood is very dark.
Yeah, the energy's a little lower than normal.
The energy's a little. Well, this is a serious conversation. That's why. This is not a lack of energy. This is a lack of.
Fun.
I tell you guys, we will not be on this channel telling you guys to long Bitcoin all the way to the bottom of this market. We will not be doing that. So it's a little somber of a mood today for sure. But these are conversations we have to have along the way. We can't always have the Happy Moon Lambo strategy. And while I believe every prediction I've given you guys, the truth is, I mean, this is a speculative market.
It's decision time.
It's decision time. It's decision time. So, guys, if you go to bitboycrypto.com/deals, you can sign up for ByBit. And if you are the kind of person that you feel confident you want to short the market, you can certainly do that with ByBit. And don't forget, we do have a 10% special going on the market indicator that we use. But let's check out the competition here, because if you guys remember, we did make it where you guys can sign up all the way through the end of the contest. Right now, we're coming in at 304 sign-ups. We got room for 194 more people. If you get in before the end of the week, you still have one full week of trades, and your trades will count just the same as the people that are up. Right now, we got Speed Devil up 1,257%. That is a nice come up. We got several people up over 100% right now. 44% is your limit to get on the top 10 leaderboard here. We're not going to look at the results more than that, but if you want to sign up for the competition, head on over to bitboycrypto.com/deals. Now, I want to talk about my trade that I'm just not giving up on, guys. And this shows you that while we are somber, what I'm doing is still putting money into this market on long positions. Now, if you look here at ByBit, you guys will see right now we are almost to even on this trade. Our break-even point, we're only down $3,500 in this trade right now, which is nothing compared to how deep were we in on it when you saw it, Elron?
It was ugly.
Yeah, we were down $70,000 at some point in this trade.
70K, yeah.
70K on this trade we were down. So right now, 3,500 feels like a win, but you know, guys, this is for the trading comp. I'm serious about this trading competition. You guys are going to see how competitive I am right here. But this is not how this trade originated, okay? What happened is I got in. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I did on this trade. Exactly. I love Carl. He's a great guy. Exactly on this trade what I did. I woke up this morning. I saw we were at $31,000, okay? And I said to myself, man, $31,000, what a heck of an opportunity right now. At that point, if we look at the 4-hour chart where we were when this happened, it was about right here, somewhere around there. Let's see. It was somewhere in this red candle. It was the furthest down it had been in a while. I mean, if you come over here and you look at the chart, this was the furthest it had been down in several days, okay? And I said to myself, oh, okay, good. Great bounce opportunity. So I jumped in at 31,000. I said, you know what? I usually don't add fuel to the fire here in these trades, but I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take money from other accounts. I'm going to move it over to my ByBit account, and I'm going to bolster this trade because given my original entry point was $31,600. No, was it $32,600. We were feeling very bullish 2 days ago. Okay. I never really got up in that trade. That was near the top, which was pretty dumb. Okay. But I'm basing this off of that 8-hour chart, the 8-hour dot on Market Cipher, wanting to take advantage of that, wanting to catch a strong bottom. And so I woke up, it was at 31,000 at 345. I had to get here to work. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pile more money in. So I put 2.5 more Bitcoin into the trade, lowered my liquidation point all the way down to 28,700, which the lowest it hit several days ago was 28,800. So I was about $50 under that. I felt pretty good. Then all of a sudden the bottom just fell out of this thing. And if we were to go and we were to look at the Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin ByBit chart, and we were to look at, let's see, I think the 45-minute chart here, you guys will see what's happening here. The technicals are lining up. The technicals are good. But we're getting these yellow manipulation X's here on Market Cipher. It's telling us that even though everything is bullish here, we come here and we pull in our Market Cipher B here, into the chart, everything's bullish. We got a green dot, you know? Well, that was just, we got another green dot here a second ago. But earlier, we got some green dots that got negated. Sometimes we got green dots and they go down. You can see like right here on this momentum wave, we got a green dot. Not as strong as the ones on the bottom side like we just got, okay? But when you get those yellow X's, the manipulation, the whale manipulation is very strong, and they're pushing the price down. The technicals say it should be going up. We're getting manipulation on the way down. So when I'm seeing some things that line up technically, I'm piling in these trades. And so I put 2.5 Bitcoin in this trade. I lowered my liquidation point, and I also lowered the threshold I need to break even. Well, then it dropped. And I started saying, wow, I need to start slowly moving this liquidation point down below $28,000 because that would align with the Death Cross. We added basically another Bitcoin to the trade. And so we're real deep in this trade right now. But I really believe that this is going to go up and is going to end up big time in our favor. It's going to get us up to the leaderboard, I believe, by the end of this week. And we're going to see whether that works or not. But that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing in this market. I do not suggest anyone run without a stop loss. I hope everyone understands that. I do not suggest that at all. I'm so bullish on this market over this cycle that for me, it's worth that risk. That's not even if we lost 4 Bitcoin, that's not a monumental breaking loss for me or for us here at BitBoy Crypto. So I know most people that would break you guys. Not trying to say we're better or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I understand that's a huge amount. You would never want to run that without a stop loss. But I think the risk is worth the reward at this point, and it shows you how desperately I want to beat you all in this trading competition. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at USD here. I know we went a little overtime there on that, but USD, this is very interesting, and we'll probably move on from this quick because we gotta get out of here probably before 15 full more minutes is up. So we will probably only spend a couple minutes on this. Bitcoin drops below 30K. The dollar. Were you saying something, TJ? Oh, we're good. Okay. Bitcoin drops below 30K. The dollar bounces ahead of Federal Reserve rate announcement. So basically, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, drops hints at the unwinding of stimulus programs later today. Now, could this be something that we're seeing where Bitcoin is getting hit negatively because they're starting to pull back on the stimulus? And the U.S. dollar... Guys, it's simple math here. I mean, it makes sense. And I told you guys about this tension we had yesterday between wanting to talk to you about how bullish things should be, for Bitcoin, and then talking about America, how a lot of these things are bad for America. Guys, if they unwind these stimulus packages and don't drop helicopter money, that's extremely good for America, for the economy. It's bad for our bags. Okay, if you don't live in America, you probably don't give an F about that, but I do. I would much prefer in this country that we say, wow, maybe if we stop all this reckless money printing, we can rein things in. But we know that the cooler heads do not prevail in these situations generally. So most likely we are going to see more money printing. I mean, we're definitely going to see more money printing. Now, does it have to be $7 trillion like people say they're going to print this year? Does it have to drop the dollar index down 20 more percent? No, it doesn't have to. It's pretty simple if they just don't print the money. So basically what this says here is the Federal Reserve is expected to leave the interest rate unchanged near zero and maintain its liquidity boosting bond purchasing plan at around $120 billion a month. If so, the status quo decision would be unlikely to elicit much of a reaction from the markets, Bitcoin included. However, stocks in Bitcoin would drop and the dollar likely drop bids if Fed Chairman Powell drops hints of a gradual unwinding of stimulus programs. Now, golly, it seems like about a week ago, that all of a sudden there's no more concerns about the pandemic. It's really weird, isn't it? It's really strange. California governor, guys, let's lift the stay-at-home order. We told you it was going to last all year, but maybe people don't need more money. Maybe we don't have to print more money. It's really amazing how that works, isn't it? Really amazing. But it says here that BTC could face selling pressure if Powell signals an early taper. We're all expecting the money in the United States to be printed at will to appease people. But I can tell you this. I can tell you this for sure. That while the wealthy people in this country, the people that do not need stimulus money and have not been counting on stimulus money, if those people do not get stimulus, we understand it's not that important for me to get a $6,000 check or a $4,000 check to support my family right now. I don't need that. Why? Because I've been investing in cryptocurrency for the whole year and much, much longer than that, and we've been getting a lot of benefits from that. But for all of the people out there that voted the way that they voted in hopes that they would be getting a lot more government programs, this would be riots across America. I can tell you that. If people think that they actually have to go back to work overnight, we could see actually a much quicker destruction of this economy than we even thought there is. Because a lot of people don't want to go back to work. A lot of people are counting on this money to be able to, go buy a car or whatever. They've been told it's coming, and, a used car, whatever it might be. If this money isn't coming and the businesses aren't getting protection, the zombie companies that have only been alive and only been open to get the stimulus money, if that doesn't happen, then what? Like, how backwards is that from what everybody was promised and told, even in the first days of this new administration in the United States? It's almost like, I gotta be careful saying it, it's almost like they were Pinocchio in you. Almost like that. And now they're going to try to take more censorship, more control, and then they're going to not help out the people that got them there. It's very, very interesting to think about what's going on here politically with the stimulus, how this relates to the announcement that could be coming later today of a tapering off. And is the Bitcoin dump we saw this morning a reaction to that? Very interesting. Maybe this is a rumor. Maybe the pressure will be put on and this won't happen. So, guys, back to this story. I want to talk about Gamestop a little bit more. I know a lot of you guys are very interested in this. And Scaramucci, who is the founder of Skybridge Capital, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, the Skybridge Capital's Anthony Scaramucci was at one time the press secretary for the last administration. You got to be careful even saying that guy's name on air. He actually believes this GameStop news is bullish for Bitcoin. And it's bullish in a really weird way. Basically, what he's saying is that this is democratizing investing. He says, the phenomenon exemplifies financial decentralization, the guiding idea behind Bitcoin, he said. Smartphones and low-cost trading are democratizing the formerly insular, why can't I not say that right? Insular and highly concentrated business of money management. He added, Skybridge has an overall Bitcoin exposure of around $385 million, which, by the way, watching some people today this morning on YouTube talking about, all of a sudden companies aren't putting money in Bitcoin. That was a 2020 thing. Like, what? Like, Grayscale just put $1.3 billion in last week. MicroStrategy just said they bought, I think it was 10 million more Bitcoin, which is not that significant compared to what they bought before. Michael Saylor says in February he's bringing people back. He's having an entire meeting of Fortune 500 executives to buy more Bitcoin. Like, where is this narrative that all of a sudden the institutions aren't buying Bitcoin?
Yeah, and that patent company from NASDAQ just bought a whole bunch the other day, too.
Yeah, the patent company.
More.
Yeah. You guys can hear TJ now. I don't have to repeat him anymore. TJ, can the people see you for a second? We got him a light.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
There's TJ. That's who I make fun of all the time off air. Now he can come on air and defend himself.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, he's saying that that's basically a result of the GameStop news, where it's basically being driven by micro investors, that it is very bullish for Bitcoin because it's the same idea, right? That we, the people, have the power, not the government structures or gigantic traditional investors, even though he's in charge of a traditional investing group. But they also invest in Bitcoin, so very interesting. Let's move on to the last thing here because we got the time messed up there. But let's just move on to the last thing here. Guys, here's what it all boils down to. Is there hope for Bitcoin right now? Is there hope that this was not the top of the market? Is there hope that everything will play out exactly like I predicted all year? I made that joke 3 times during this video. I love Carl. Yes, there is hope. Do we also need to look realistically at what the potential is for the downside momentum of this market? Is it also, yes, we do. Is it also possible that we look at the monthly chart and we get the wick and things go down and things look very, very, very bearish, and then something dramatic happens and the price goes up? That's what we saw with the PayPal news last year. Okay, we know that Venmo is coming online very soon for cryptocurrency. Okay, you're back at Bitcoin Death Cross at the top there. Yeah, we got to fix hotkeys on here for sure. We're working on it, guys. You guys know we're working hard to get everything here lined up.
Literally, the reason that bounced back is because I typed to the chat that we're working on the lights still. So,
can you type to the chat maybe Bitcoin's going back to 35,000 and that will happen as well?
Bitcoin is going back to 30.
Ah!
See, and now you can see what
now
happens.
Now we're back on ETH Forecast. Wow. What I noticed there was it went straight from is there hope to altcoin season immediately.
Oh, look
and
at
that
that
made me think
Easter
maybe
egg.
Easter egg, guys. Maybe we're going to see that.
There's hope.
But here's what I want to really nail down with you guys is this. Bitcoin has had several of these decisions throughout the last year. If we go back to what I said at the end of 2019 on December 31st about when Bitcoin all-time highs would come, they came exactly at that time, November and December. Why? That's what the chart said historically should happen. If we go back to the beginning of 2019 or the beginning of 2020, I told you guys, Bitcoin had to be above $8,000 by the time of the halving. And where was it? It dropped down right after the halving down to 8,400 and never returned again. The last time we had a green dot on our trading indicator, okay? Which, by the way, bitboycrypto.com/deals. You can go check it out and get 10% off. It's very reliable. It has been reliable, and it will continue to be reliable. Why? Because it takes into consideration a lot of indicators, including a lot of history about Bitcoin and what it's done. The fact that no one thought, I want you guys to think about this. I would compare where we're at right now very similar to what happened with the March Bitcoin crash. January, February of last year, everyone was super bullish. The price of Bitcoin had returned back above $10,000. Everything looked like it was roses. Just like right now, it's looked like for 2 months that everything was going to be roses for Bitcoin. And what happened? Pandemic. Same thing they're telling us now. The release of the pandemic funds or the pullback of the pandemic funds. And this crashed the market, crashed dramatically. Went all the way down from $10,000 to 3,900 Bitcoin was. We scooped it up in the 4,000s at that point. Continue to scoop it up afterwards. Why? Because we believe long term that this is the hyper bull market that we've all been waiting for. No one believed in April. I want you guys to think about this. No one believed in April that by the time of the halving, we would be back above $10,000. But we just needed to get back to 8. We spent some time in the 6 and 7s. It didn't even look like 8s were going to be possible. But where did we end up? Above $10,000. After the halving, we dropped down to 8,400, and everyone said, that was the halving hype. That was it. It's over. That was it. But it didn't matter what happened immediately following the halving because we had history to say it should drop. And it never dropped below $8,000, which was a very critical level at that point. Then what happened? We saw the sideways action for months hovering around $9,000, $10,000. And everybody said, that was it. We went back up. We're going to go back down. Critical point for Bitcoin, the fall. The fall, we needed to see Bitcoin rising for everything to align. Everything suggested sideways movement. DeFi was pumping. Ethereum was pumping. Everything was going up except for poor old Bitcoin. It was just going sideways. And everybody said, well, if Bitcoin can't get above $12,000, guys, it's just not going to happen this year. And what happened? Not only did it climb above $12,000, it rocketed all the way up to $20,000, the previous all-time high, in just a few months. Don't ever discount the power of Bitcoin. And there have been many times that we've had these somber conversations on this channel. There have been many times. It's been fun lately. Man, it's been fun. Been real fun the last few months while things were going well up. We haven't had a lot of those serious conversations since December, okay? If we go back to November, we had some serious conversations. You go back to October, we certainly had some serious conversations. which was in October, if you remember me telling you guys, November 2nd would be a critical date for Bitcoin. It was the day before the U.S. political circus, I'll call it. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the E word on here anymore, okay? But what happened? I told you guys that if we don't see that, it would be uncharacteristic, and that would mean that we might not see the same things that we saw. Back in a corner, did exactly what it was supposed to do. Rocketed up all through November and all through December and January, and led us up to where we're at now. The thing is, every time Bitcoin has been in a corner, every time Bitcoin has been to a place where it's got to make a decision to go up or to go down and break the cycle, it continues continually to go up. Continues continually. That's a great line by me. So the point is, I expect Bitcoin to bounce back by the end of this month. I will not get out of this trade that I'm in. I may lower my liquidation point by adding some more fuel to the fire, because 28,000 should possibly be in play if you listen to the bearish cross news, okay? But I'm still bullish, and I'm looking at these types of opportunities as what they are, chances to get back in at lower price points. If that breaks, if that changes, I promise you, you will be the first to know. You guys see what I do. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm passionate. I'm transparent. You guys can trust what I say when I tell you. I'm going to tell you when I start moving money out. A lot of people ask about my strategy and when that happens, and I can promise you, we're not going to hide what we're doing. We will be telling you guys, because I care about the BitSquad. I care about all the people that watch this channel. So, if you're still bullish on Bitcoin, make sure to smash that like button. We got an interview coming out 2 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time, with Carl from the Moon Channel. We're going to talk about if we do see bearish action, if we do see the end of a cycle, where will those price targets be? Then later tonight, we got a big video talking about which coin should you invest in, Ethereum, Cardano, or Polkadot. I'm going to lay you guys out some scenarios and kind of fit you into 2 different categories. Which person you are will be dependent on which one you invest in, I believe. So definitely come back tonight for that video. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing to the channel. I'm sure we probably hit 227 during the stream. We were real close to it. So, everybody, that's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.